I look back to them days and they're some of the best days of my life, and we were heading all over Europe playing in tournaments, and it was like a family. I was there 3 times a week. I grew up with these people and they were massive. Yeah.
That's Jack there, Jack Wiltshire. Pictures with Maradona. That's Steve Leonard. He's been here so many years. And those are the characters and the people that really help to make the club feel the way it does, and they're really important.
First heard about Jack Wiltshire, Sean O'Connor, who's still a scout here, phoned me up one day when he was at Barnet. He said, "Steve, I've seen this little boy playing for Luton against Barnet." Probably within about 2 or 3 weeks we got him in and he played on the pitch. Jack was outstanding. I mean, I was his coach probably remember being at 12s, 14s, at 16s. More or less every game we used to play, and he was always the best player. You just get that feeling. I suppose I've seen so many kids, I've worked with so many kids. You get that little feeling that this kid could be an Arsenal player.
Ketia takes full advantage. Saka. Smith Rowe. Oh, Arsenal have done it again.
The under-16s are at Chelsea's academy in Cobham for a London derby. After their strong attacking displays against Everton and West Ham, confidence is high. But with 3 goals conceded against West Ham, Coach Birch is looking for a better defensive performance and more control from his 16s.
Technique. And the full-backs might start to get round us. If that happens, then we'll flip it to a 4-4-2. So we can get our wingers nice and tight.
Among the regulars today is a new face, and a name that makes him stand out from the crowd. Maldini. The centre-back is the latest trialist scouted and brought in by Hale End's talent identification department.
So Maldini, I believe he's played for Albania, under 17s, played against us last year. Yeah, now he has the opportunity to come in with us.
Right, gents, talent ID meeting for week ending November 11th. We're just going to pick up a few players that have been flagged to go into the talent pool. Obviously, the performance gaps that we're looking at for 16s and 15s are still the same positions, so that's a right-side centre-back in the 16s and a holding or attacking midfielder in the 15s. 2 players of interest that have been flagged up, so Maldini Kukuri. Stevie Leonard did flag him up June 2021, and we've heard that he's going to be released from Fulham. So we're going to pick up his fixtures. We've gone through the video footage and watched it analysis-wise, and we think that the lad's got something.
Talent identification is big. London is a hotbed for talent. To stay hidden, if you're really talented in football, is almost impossible. There are eyes everywhere. You will get picked up somewhere, or someone knows someone who has seen someone. Basically, everyone is a scout, and we tell that even to our staff, even in the first team. If their son is playing and you see a good player, report it. Our guys will then look into teams, grassroots, and trying to find a player, that can have a good impact on the academy.
Errol would just stick you down at West Ham versus West Brom. Holding midfield player there, doing well at the moment. Ross, this weekend, can you do Watford for me? Look at the potential left centre-back we've been talking about.
Some will enter academies at under-9. Some will stay in their grassroots teams, but there's where the scouting and talent happens as well. We are always in a position to offer trials, most of the time 8 weeks, and then make assessments around the players, whether someone's ready or not, to be officially signed with Arsenal Academy.
I joined the club way back in 1993. I was still doing a bit of scouting at the time and coaching as well and helping with the kit. So I was doing a little bit of everything because obviously there wasn't as many people as there is now. Years ago when we first moved into Hale End, we thought it was wonderful, but looking back now, there was only 2 of us that was full-time. I can remember taking a team away to Chelsea or Spurs or something like that, and there was just me on the line with a physio. But we loved it, we enjoyed it, and that's how it was then. Somewhere around about 2018, I went back on the recruitment, and that's what I've been doing since then, part-time scouting. Well, I've done this now for 30 years, so I think by now I know what an Arsenal player should look like. I do get this gut feeling sometimes, well, you know, I like this kid. He looks an Arsenal player. Someone said to me the other day, you know, you always say that, Steve, he looks like an Arsenal player, but you just get that feeling. I suppose I've seen so many kids, I've worked with so many kids. I look back at someone like Bukayo. I can remember when he was under 9. My mate said, go and have a look at the 9, Steve, see what you think. This little boy stood out because he was so quick and so strong, and had a lovely left foot. You know, real 100%, as we call it now, champion mentality, you know, wanted to do well. Eddie Nketiah was released from another Premier League side. I can remember the first night he come in would have been start of the under-15 season, and he walked in with his head down, and he come over and he shook hands. I said, are you Eddie? And he said, yeah. I said, do me a favour, go out them gates and come back with your head held high. We're going to give you a chance. Once he scored 1 or 2 goals at 15s, and then he never stopped scoring. Well, I'm out today to watch a right-sided centre-half. The boy's name is Maldini, funny enough. Big, strong boy. He looks like he's got a great attitude. He's quick, he's decent on the ball, he can play. He's good in the air, wants to defend. So he's got the ingredients that we would need for that role. I'm hoping when I do come back, I can say that he's been as good as what I thought he is. But we'll see. You get that little feeling that you know this kid could be an Arsenal player. And I certainly feel that about the boy Maldini.
Soon after Steve's scouting trip, Maldini was offered a trial at Hale End and began training with the 16s.
My name is Maldini Katsure. I play centre-back. My parents named me after Maldini. Obviously, he was a very good player. And like, I have siblings, and all their names begin with M. So it's like carrying it on. Like, that's kind of where it came from.
But do you think they thought that maybe you were going to become a centre?
I don't know, to be honest, but I'm happy it's worked out that way.
While the Talent ID team are confident in Maldini's ability, his inclusion is also key to the development of other academy talents.
Some players will have footballing ability, and they will have good executive decisions, but they'll lack physicality. You won't release those players. They're whispering talents, slow burners, so we'll sit on those players and allow them to develop. Now, when you get a situation like that, you need to add a bit of physicality to the rest of the team. A player that can support the weaker units. So someone like a Maldini, we didn't just look at his executive decision making, his mobility, but we also looked at his physicality.
It's a huge day for Maldini as he plays his first game for Arsenal. Trialists only have a short time to impress in their bid to earn a longer placement at the club.
Obviously, it's a tough team, one of the best academies in the country. And after the first game away, it was a bit of pressure, but this was like my chance, I felt like, to really make a mark for myself.
Maldini's in from the start and plays alongside regular centre-back and captain Lewis. Watching from the Chelsea dugout is Hale End graduate Ashley Cole, who was a few years ahead of Birch in the academy.
1, 2, 3, Arsenal! Come on, boys!
Oh, a bit much. Go on, a little one. Good try. Keep trying to play between them, yeah? Opposite sides.
Oh, wow.
Miles is highly rated at Hale End, and he's justifying that with a dominant display in midfield.
Brilliant tackle that. Ooh.
There are plenty of tackles flying in.
Yeah.
It is a London derby, of course.
It's a foul, mate.
And Maldini is looking right at home.
First thing I think about when I come to a game is like, I need to get a good start. Once I have a good start, then you can get into your rhythm.
Man, I love this Maldini kid. I love him, mate. He's a proper defender, isn't he?
I think I'd want a 50-50.
No, I wouldn't, would you? Hold on. Good lad, in we go, we'll go in.
It's goalless at the break, but it's been a promising team performance and a solid start from Maldini. There's plenty more to come from him in the second half. Arsenal start the second half brightly, and Ethan carves out a chance for Ismail early on.
Very good.
Arsenal's intensity is high,
Brilliant, you.
and they're in on goal again. This time, Amari.
Amari, stick at it! Stick at it! Put him in.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Please, Lord. How can we win?
Structure.
No.
That's the thing. Goalkeepers having to be Gordon Banks.
They keep banging on the door, and a big chance falls to Seb.
15 there, Seb.
Though Arsenal aren't managing to put the ball in the net, Maldini hasn't put a foot wrong.
They might.
Tony Adams would do that.
Even John Terry's come out to see it.
Like, I love making a tackle. It's like smash a couple players, but everything's part of the game. When I saw it back on the video, it was like quite big, so I think I made a big impression with that. After the game, everyone was saying they were surprised that I did that, but that's just my game.
Miles continues to rampage through the midfield and drive the team on.
He fancies it now. Good lad, good lad.
It's like Jonah Loma, isn't it?
He picks out Ethan right at the death.
Goalie's been outstanding, mate. Their goalie, yeah.
They've got to take responsibility for those moments.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot, yeah. Have a good one.
When it's fine margins and you want to be a top finisher, you've got to score.
It's a good team performance that could have been a win if not for a man-of-the-match display from the Chelsea goalkeeper. But it is a win for the talent ID department as Maldini's debut shows a lot of potential.
I think he's done great. It shows that the scouting and the talent ID department have found a player that really fits that position. I really enjoyed his defending actions, really enjoyed it. And that desire as well within Jules to sort of dominate his direct opponent. And on the ball looked really, really calm and collected and brought a bit of calm to the group. And today he should be really proud of himself, and I hope he enjoyed his game, because I enjoyed his performance.
It boosted my confidence. I felt really good, to be honest. I went home happy, but all I was thinking about was like next session, because you can't just have one good game and then expect to get into the team.
You have to look beyond his physicality, and you have to look at, is that the measure of his success, or is there more behind him? So if you take Maldini, how he reads and positions, and initial action in the moment for best outcomes, is very, very good.
For Maldini, time is of the essence. As he joined relatively late in the year, academy management only have a few weeks to decide on his scholarship, when this decision process would ideally be formulated over years. Meanwhile, the under-15s are travelling to Crystal Palace for their Floodlit Cup quarter-final. The group stage was full of highs and lows, but now the boys can fully focus on the knockouts. It's a special day for everyone connected with Hale End, as on the way to the ground, the England squads are announced and 3 recent academy graduates are selected. Bukayo Saka and Emile Smith Rowe are called up by Gareth Southgate, with Follering Balogun picked for the under-21s. It's a boost before their big game for the boys to see Hale Enders recognised by their country.
Come on then, Arsenal, let's go. Away you go, yeah?
Louis Copley returns to the starting 11 after a long injury layoff and drives Arsenal's attack early on.
It's really good to start and play as a 10 alongside a false nine as Dan, and we link up very well, so I think it'll be a very good game.
Dan, I need more. Yeah, come on.
Palace get a free kick in a dangerous position.
What's the ref doing, landing a plane?
And take full advantage. There's more Arsenal pressure after half-time.
Run Jakai!
Louis is showing glimpses of his huge talent.
Such a chance.
But the boys just can't find that bit of quality, and Palace punished them on the break. It's the end of the road for the 15s in this competition, who can take heart from a hard-fought campaign with a lot of learning. In more news around international call-ups, Ethan is selected to play for England under-16s. And goalkeeper Alexi gets the call-up from the Colombia youth team, and he travels to South America to represent them for the first time.
It's 9 o'clock and I'm just waiting to get on my plane now to Cartagena via Bogota.
Back at Hale End, the talent identification team continue to produce the goods, as another recently scouted talent, midfielder Zach Schwab, comes into the under-15 side on trial. Zach was originally picked out by Hale End scout Charlie, who spotted him whilst playing on a trial with Chelsea.
Played against another target that plays for Fulham. Thought he'd done quite well in the position, sort of stopped him from playing his usual game, and that was why he stood out for me. Realistically, for me, he fits into our pillars.
He started well, being selected regularly, and he scored a crucial goal to help the team progress in the Floodlit Cup. But Zach has a unique story. Whilst back in the day top-level footballers were generally found at local comprehensives, these days they're discovered at a more diverse set of places. In this case, probably the most distinguished private school in the country, Eton College.
I'd definitely say that people were surprised when I told them I'm at Eton and I'm also signed at Arsenal. There was one coach that said it's never going to be good for your football. And, you know, I just tried to prove him wrong, but it definitely is very sort of difficult, and I understand why people would say that the two worlds aren't compatible.
You're trying to be at Arsenal, which is one of the best clubs in the world, and you're trying to be at a school which is one of the best schools in the world, and you're trying to sustain those two. And it is a huge challenge for the boys because there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of work. The school don't care how tired you are, but it's very demanding. That's life. Life is demanding.
For Zach, settling in at Hale End has been easier, as he's alongside school friend Daniel Oyatunde, who plays up front for the 15s.
There's always the stereotype that Eton boys are stuck up. I think nowadays it's not like that. It's a nice environment. There's some good people there, and yeah, enjoy it.
After a positive trial period, Zach was signed up by the club, but the boys' focus on their education hasn't wavered.
Bukayo Saka at this club, I think he got straight 9s in GCSE and A-stars in A-level. So that shows it can easily be done if you really, really want it.
He has to find a way to maintain the two because education is key. You know, his mum would not have it any other way and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Later in the week, the under-17s welcome Indonesian side Garuda Select to Hale End. The Arsenal side features a number of boys from the under-16s who are playing up, such as Lewis, Ethan and Michael, but also Maldini, who has continued to impress throughout his trial, but is still awaiting his scholarship decision.
I think with his mum, they've been let down a few times now, and it seemed that the club he was at beforehand, they was telling him about how well he's been doing, and the feedback that the mum got was, yeah, everything's on track, he'll be all right, and I think she had in her mind that he was more or less going to get a scholarship, and it didn't happen, so it's my job to calm her down and say, look, everything's going well so far. But I think at the moment, it's I've got to say, speaking to a few people, it's looking good for him.
It's a win for the under-17s, with goal scorers from the group that are playing up and another solid performance from Maldini.
At the end of the day, you know, anyone will tell you that you want your defender to be a defender. You know, first and foremost, their job is to defend, and he can do that. He'll put his body on the line, he'll make them last-ditch tackles, and I think he's added that little bit of strength and steel at the back that they was probably missing as well.
At the end of the game, there's news waiting for Maldini.
After the game, I remember my mum just telling me they're going to sign you. I was like, I was a bit speechless to me. I didn't really know what to say. Obviously, once we got home, we celebrated, like we had a nice meal, and yeah, everyone was really happy for me.
When I look at him, you know, in possession, out of possession, he has helped the team so much, you know, to grow and to calm down, really, you know, in a year of a lot of, you know, kind of pressure. He has been a real rock, you know, in that defense and has helped us.
It's about taking that chance, any chance that you get, getting in the 18s team, then once you're in the 18s, looking to go to the 23s, and then who knows where it can take you. But just think like taking it one step at a time gets you far.
Anytime that coach comes up and goes, Steve, we're signing the boy you brought in, it's always rewarding, because it's Arsenal Football Club. You know, I've seen so many kids over the years where they can come out and a few skills and they can drive out from the back into midfield and break the line, and that's all lovely, and they can hit a big diag, but can they defend? He can defend. He can do all them other bits, but he can defend. He's a proper, he relishes defending. He has got lots of attributes that are gonna help him to become a good young footballer.
Okay, we've not been on tour for a very long time, have we? Brilliant experience, one that I really want you to embrace and show how good we can be.
Come on, Sam.